Tonight, pounding hail, heavy rains, and high winds hammer East Tennessee.
Lightning strikes are causing problems, sparking a huge fire at this home. Plus,
the tornado sirens sound again in Greenback, a community still cleaning up the mess a March twister left in its wake.
Live from the news station, WATE TV Knoxville, this is 6 News at 11.
all day and now into the night, Six-Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Matt Heekin is tracking another wave of severe storms. Matt, how do things look right now?
Well, we still have to get through the next another hour or so, and the stuff's moving off pretty rapidly. Improvements to the west, but we can hear heavy rain over Knox County right now, especially downtown. A lot of red on the radar, and that indicates still the potential for some severe storms. But let's go right into Knox County right now, and you can see where the heaviest rain is from downtown back to Farragut and Carnes. Not a whole lot of wind damage, but boy, we've seen torrential rain, and look at the update as we scan that now up to Powell and parts north of there. This heavy rain is going to continue to move through East Tennessee. One area that we're concerned with is down south, and we've had reports now that in the recent last few minutes that there's possibility of some rotation in this storm that's near Benton. And so with that in mind, we want to let the folks know that live in southern part of Monroe County, McMinn County, there's the possibility of some rotation in this storm near Benton and Etowah, and that moves northeast at about 50 miles an hour like everything else has. So up 411, if you're in the track of that storm, you need to make sure you're got your ears to the outside and make sure you're not getting too much increase in pressure. Hopefully you won't get too much of an increase in the wind speed, and you'll be able to hear it if it turns into something that's going to cause some damage. But some of the communities that are in the path of this, the possible rotating thunderstorm, include North Etowah at 1104, Zion Hill 1108, Berger at 1111. As we go up I-75, come into Knox County, heavy rain, Loudoun County, over Tellico Village, Lenore City, Friendsville, West Knoxville, and we're looking at most of the rain continuing to push to the east very rapidly. A wider perspective will show what's going on as far as the heavy rain to the east of us. We did have reports, and we're going to learn about that in a little bit, of some significant damage around Cott County High School, but that one of those storms has moved to the east of there. Heavier rain in Union County as well. So where do we stand as far as the watches and warnings now that it's 11 o'clock? Well, good news is that some areas have been dropped from the warning. Some areas are still in the warning, but all the counties in red still have tornado warnings, including Knox County till 11:15, Granger County till 11:45, up toward Greene County till 11:30, south toward Sevier County till 11:15, and Blount County till 11:15. So another 15 minutes for many of you, and then we have the tornado watch until 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, a lot of lightning with this system as well, almost 5,000 strikes of lightning. So the storms that are out there are intense, and frequent lightning is definitely what's going on. But look now from Jellicoe to Harriman to Dayton, and all points back here, we are A-OK, and that's what we want to see. We want to see this whole system lift off to the north and east, and I can show you how that's happening as it moves from southwest to northeast. Notice that it's starting to clear out of Chattanooga. At least the bands of rain are moving out of Chattanooga and moving off the plateau, and that's what we want to see, and that's what's going to be happening during the newscast. So by the time we get to midnight, most of the severe weather will be east of Knoxville and over toward the Smoky Mountains, and we can only improve it from there. So that's where we stand right now as far as what's going on right now. Heavy rain falling in Knox County, and it continues to lift off to the northeast. A little bit of lightning. We'll continue to keep you updated should any more warnings come out and get you the complete forecast, which is much improved, coming up in a few minutes.
We could use it. Thank you, Matt. Well, tonight we have several school closings to report to you. Loudoun, Jefferson, Meigs, McMinn, Monroe counties all closed tomorrow.
Hail ranging in size from peas to softballs pounded Knoxville tonight. This is how things look just outside our station here in North Knoxville tonight. The hail came down fast and hard for about 5 minutes here. And it also caused some serious damage in a neighborhood near McGee-Tyson Airport that got pounded by several rounds of severe weather. Look at this patch of grass in Louisville just covered with hail, some pieces nearly the size of golf balls. They shattered at least one car windshield and dented the tops and hoods of several other vehicles at an apartment complex parking lot.
You could just hear the roar. The hail started, then it subsided for a couple of seconds, and then it was just like a wall of it came. And you could, in the flash of the lightning, you could see like a wall cloud forming. You could see the clouds rotating, everything. It just got really, really hairy.
That area lost power, and neighbors had to take cover several times throughout the night. And this is video of hail coming down on I-75. Some people in other parts of our area reported hail so thick on the roads it was like driving on ice.
Well, trees were brought down and brought down power lines with them across all 4 lanes of Alcoa Highway at Montlake Drive. Alcoa Highway is closed in both directions tonight, and it is not clear how long it may take crews to clean this up. 6 News will, of course, keep you posted. High waters trapped a car in South Knox County just off of Maryville Pike. Police shut down part of Cumberland Avenue right before the 11th Street area because of flooding. High waters also forced police to shut down Philip Fulmer Way near Neyland Stadium. And flashes of lightning filled the sky in Blount County. The streaks were a part of several severe thunderstorms that moved through the area this afternoon. We're told hail and heavy winds also accompanied the lightning, causing some damage to homes in the Louisville area.
Tonight, a Blount County family is starting over after lightning hit their home. The strike sparked flames, destroying the house on Potter Road. A mother and her 4-year-old son were inside when the lightning struck. 6 News reporter Jill McNeil talked with the family about those frightening moments and their future plans as our team coverage continues.
It was one of the most difficult days of their lives. Bree and Scott Gillespie could do nothing but sit by and watch as the 3-story log home they built with their own hands burned to the ground.
Just gone. It's gone. All the work's gone, but the people are safe.
Bree and their 4-year-old son were home at the time.
Lightning struck the house, and then within 5 minutes, probably I looked out the window and realized the upstairs back porch was on fire.
She knew she had to get out.
When we run out, I grabbed 3 pictures off the wall and out the door I went with my young. Sick to my stomach. Wish I could get sick.
Blount County firefighters couldn't stop the flames that were eating away at the home.
Safety reasons, there's nothing to save at this point. It's already gone.
They had to use all their water to keep the large propane tank next to the house from exploding.
And the LP tank can kill us all.
As you can see, nothing from the home can be salvaged, including Scott's 61 Coupe de Ville in the garage and Bree's Dodge Charger in the driveway.
We had been working to pay it off so she could quit work, and she told me Friday that we had just got enough to pay it off.
This was Scott's dream home on his dream plot of land. He says he will rebuild right here.
It's gone. It's gone. My wife's okay. My son's okay. We'll go get us some more clothes and start life again tomorrow.
In Maryville, Jill McNeil, 6 News.
Now, we have been getting reports from across the county tonight about downed power lines, storm damage, flooding, and lots more. 6 News reporter Hannah Kim is live via Ustream in Knox County. And Hannah, what can you tell us?
Jean, hi there. Yeah, we are literally in the intersection of the Cedar Bluff area there at Park West. We've been driving around for the past 7 hours, and we've been staying across 5 different counties. At this hour, again, we're back in Knox County. We're hearing that a lot of areas are flooded, and this area is the worst by far. Right now, all of the cars that were swallowed up earlier have been all towed away, so that's at least an update on that department. But you want to definitely stay away from this area because we've seen 3 to 4 cars literally just getting stranded, swallowed up by all the water here. This roadway, I can't even see the roadway. It looks like a river to me at this point. There's also tow trucks just standing by because they know that a lot of these cars are going to still try to drive through this flooded zone. You should not be doing that, but people are still driving through it and getting stranded. Also, what we're seeing out here is the wind started picking up a little bit just a few minutes ago, and that's another big problem that Knox County is dealing with, of course, with the trees going down on power lines, a lot of people out of power. They're also asking people to, of course, just be careful, you know, to make sure that if there's trees on the ground, or make sure that if there's trees around your home, just to take a look and make sure that that your area is safe, you know, if you can. Again, we're going around checking the area. This is the worst part, so you want to stay away for the time being. We're live in West Knoxville. Hannah Kim, 6 News.
Before we let you go, give us exactly where you are specifically.
We're actually at the Cedar Bluff area, right, at Park West. So this is that intersection right there that you're looking at. I don't know if you can see this, Jean, but there's a yellow tape kind of right in front of her car. And people have actually been driving through this. The crime scene tape that officials have put up, but people are still driving through it, even with that in their face or going through. So again, people are not heeding the warning, which is not a good thing because your car can get stranded at this intersection. You want to keep that in mind.
Yeah, indeed. All right, Hannah, thank you very much, and stay safe, and let's go over to Matt.
Hey, thank you, Gene. I want to show you one area of really concern because most of the storms today have been rotating storms. Some have produced damage. We don't have any confirmation of long-track tornadoes on the ground, but I'll tell you what, Monroe County has had several instances of wind damage and large hail. And look at this again. We're starting to see some markers that are indicating the possibility of some rotation, if not a small tornado, possibly near the Tellico Plains area. If we click on these indicators, these threat markers, there's some sort of rotation there, possible 80% probability of a tornado, whether it's on the ground or just rotating, we're not sure, but moving east-northeast at 66 miles an hour. There's probably some hail inside this storm as well, north of Tellico Plains. Those purples that turn white especially are producing larger hail, but this whole system moving off to the northeast 50 to 60 miles an hour. If you're in the path of this storm near Tellico Plains, it's probably going to be heading up toward Blount County, and we're going to project it to be 60 miles an hour as it moves that way. Some of the areas that are in the path of it, Tallahassee at 11:30, Choate at 11:36, Christie Hill at 11:39, could become dangerously close again toward the Greenback community, hopefully staying south from there and hopefully weakening. But that's the area of most rotation we're seeing. Heavy rain otherwise from Farragut, and Farragut also down toward Lenore City. Karnes picking up some heavier rain down to Loudon and all this area near Tellico Village, and then heavier rain from South Knoxville over to East Knox County over to Kodak, so that's picking up some heavier rain as well. And then we look at it up toward Rutledge and Maynardville, so that's all moving out. We're continuing to look back to the west, and look how much improvement there's been to the west of us just in the last 15-20 minutes. Now from Campbell County back toward Harriman and all the way down to Ray and Meigs County, Cumberland and Fentress counties, all in very good shape. Now we got to get these showers out of the valley and out of East Tennessee, so it'll be much improved during the night. We're going to continue to track these storms. We've got an updated forecast. Meteorologist Megan Campbell's with me. We've got some more pictures to show you. Stay with us. We're going to continue to track these storms and get you much improved forecast in a few minutes.
All right, that sounds good, Matt. Now tonight, part of Highway 68 in Monroe County is closed. We're talking about the area between Madisonville and Tellico Plains. Troopers believe a tornado came through that area. A power pole came down, crushing a mobile home. 6 News reporter Mona Nair continues our team coverage with a look at that damage.
We're on Highway 68 in Monroe County, somewhere between Madisonville and Tellico Plains. This is one of several scenes like this one in this area. We're going to shine a flashlight because it's really dark outside. This is a huge power line that's come down on this highway, and the crews have blocked off the scene because of that. What's interesting about this particular scene is that an entire mobile home was crushed. Underneath it, you can see that there's debris strewn all over the fixtures from the bathroom, the washer, dryer. Those are things that you can just kind of see a little bit with this flashlight. And state troopers say that they believe this was a confirmed tornado, and it's not hard to believe because if you look across the street, you can see that the debris managed to blow all the way over to the other end. And this is one of several scenes like this one here in Monroe County that crews are trying to handle right now. They have a command center set up. They're trying to get to as many people, as many homes as possible and assess the damage. And what's making it tougher for them is that there's so much other bad weather that's come in since. This happened a little bit after 6 o'clock today. And since then, they've had to deal with heavy rain, thunder and lightning, and they've been trying to stay safe themselves as well as go out and evaluate this damage despite the bad weather. Of course, it's hard to show you the entire extent of the damage in these areas right now. We're going to come back and revisit this again in the morning to give you a good sense of what's happened here. Reporting in Monroe County, Mona Nair, 6 News.
Well, right now, thousands are without power. KUB reporting now a little over 17,000 have no electricity. About 6,300 of those people are in South Knox County. The number has gone down, though, since our earlier reports of about 23,000 outages. LCUB is reporting right now about 5,000 people without power to their homes. TVA's chief operating officer releasing a statement to us this evening telling us work is underway right now to get the power back on where it's out. Quote, "We have an extensive number of transmission lines out of service because of tornado and high wind damage. Several power plants are also currently offline, either because of damage to equipment or because there is nowhere to send the electricity while the transmission lines are down from the storm."
Well, certainly it is what the victims of last month's tornado in Greenback did not want to hear, the sounds of tornado sirens. An EF3 tornado struck that community back on March 23rd. No one was hurt, but the twister damaged dozens of homes and businesses. And just a few days ago, people there found they are not eligible for federal disaster aid. 6 News reporter Josh Alt was back in Greenback as the siren sounded. He continues our team coverage.
People started coming here to the Greenback Community Center around 3 o'clock to take shelter. Many of them have decided to spend the night. A dozen people showed up before some of the strong storms came through. One of those people was Betty Korber, who brought her dog Dixie too.
I don't want her to blow away without me.
So you don't take the weather too seriously?
Not really.
Korber says if the tornado hadn't happened in March, she probably wouldn't have come.
The tornado, I slept through it, and it upset my daughter. So she called today and she said, now you go somewhere safe. And I said, yes, ma'am.
Earlier in the day, this huge tree limb fell on top of a car on Gina Road.
We were sitting there and the tornado alarms went off, and then we had a big straight down line of wind, and we heard a big snap and come out here and there it sits.
Shortly after 5, another storm rolled through, causing people inside the shelter to worry. Dorothy Phipps, a lifelong resident of Greenback, also decided to come to the shelter.
Because I don't like to be alone when it storms, and so I came with my neighbors, and then my friend Betty came later.
Do you feel safe here?
Yes.
Then after 6, darker clouds rolled into Greenback. This storm caused quarter-size hail and low, dark clouds. It also caused this tree to fall, blocking Phipps Lane, where several of the people inside the shelter live.
I really thank the Lord for taking care of us. I think he likes Greenback.
Greenback volunteer firefighters tell me 8 to 10 trees have fallen due to the storms today, and there was a one-car accident where a woman lost control right here on Morganton Road due to the wet roads. She did receive some injuries and was taken to the hospital. In Greenback, Josh Alt, 6 News.
Now, Josh tells us the shelter, the Greenback Community Center, will be open all night long. And besides the one car accident he reported, there have not been any other reports of injuries in Greenback. What county crews believe was a tornado ripped through Meigs County today, snapping power poles, shredding trees, as well as damaging homes. The worst of the damage has been blocked off by cleanup crews as they try to remove all this debris. Residents there were without power for hours and say that it will be a few days before adjusters will be able to get in there to assess all that damage. All right, let's go over to Matt and check out the weather.
Well, I'm checking out good things. I like to bring good news. All right, let's first of all show you the good news. First of all, on Storm Tracker 6, from Middlesboro now down through Union County, most of Anderson County and Roane County, all that's back to the west. This is A-OK. We still have to get these storms to the east of us, though, and we are still concerned about the tornado warning that's in effect for Monroe County, possibly into southern Blount County. The reason being there's a well-defined notch right here outside Tellico Plains moving toward Tallahassee, and this is indicating the threat marker is telling us that there is some sort of rotation down there, and it continues to move to the northeast. So possible tornado, about 41% probability, moving east-northeast about 57 miles an hour. And if we track that to the northeast to close to 60 miles an hour in advance, here are some of the communities that would be on the southern part of Monroe County, southern part of Blount County. 60 miles an hour would put it into Chilhowie at 1128, Calderwood 1132, Lawson Crossroad 1153, and Red Bank at 1155. Not very populated areas, but still could be some significant structural damage if that actually does touch down as it moves toward Tallahassee. Also going to be looking at the possibility of some hail in this just south of Tallahassee. We saw signatures like that bring small hail to parts of East Tennessee earlier this evening, and heavy rain still continues over Farragut. Even in southeast Knoxville, there's some heavier rain as well, but it's drying out up to Clinton. Rutledge over to Jefferson City, some damaging winds possible still, so you need to be aware of that as all this activity continues to slide off to the northeast. As far as the update, as far as the watches and warnings are concerned, less, but still out there, some red spots, including Blount County until probably till about 11:30, 11:45 for some areas, midnight for Blount County, Jefferson County till midnight, Granger County to 11:45, and Union County, that's until 11:45. Just the southern tip of Knox County toward midnight, but most of the other parts of Knox County are cleared out, and at midnight for Cott County. Those of you that are up toward Claiborne County, Hawkins County, and Hancock County, you're under it till 11:45. Good indicator of these storms weakening would be a less amount of lightning, and we are seeing less lightning seeing to the tune of about 3,200 strikes of lightning right now. We'll switch the lightning off, and you can indicate where the strongest storms are. Where the red is occurring, that's where the strongest storms are, just from Morristown to East Knox County and from West Knox County down to Maryville, and including that cell in the eastern part of Monroe County moving into southern Blount County. We need to keep an eye on that, but we continue to see each and every minute improvement in the weather as the system continues to rapidly lift off to the north and east, and once it gets east of the mountains, we should be in good shape the rest of the night. We're going to review this. The 6-day forecast has some good news for us as well, and some pictures Megan's putting together from you, the viewer. All that's coming up in just a few minutes. Hope you'll stay with us.
All right, Matt. Well, tonight, Red Cross volunteers delivered food to people still without power in Knoxville. There are pockets of homes in the north central part of the city that have had no electricity for 48 hours. This afternoon, Red Cross volunteers made sandwiches and packed snacks and drinks, and then they went door to door.
A lot of folks, they've had food that's spoiled in their refrigerators because of the lack of electricity, so we can't just necessarily wait on people to call us. We have to go find them. If they don't have electricity, they can't call us.
A shelter was opened earlier tonight at the Red Cross headquarters on Middlebrook Pike. It will stay open, we're told, overnight. They're providing cots, blankets, food, drinks, and a safe, warm place for those whose homes were damaged by the storms.
The storms turned deadly in Chattanooga. Police say a 41-year-old woman was killed when a tree fell on her home. They say her husband and son were hiding in a closet. She went to a window and was crushed by a falling tree. Her husband and son were not injured. Cameras were rolling in Chattanooga as funnel clouds formed over the river. You can see the white cloud swirling. That cloud eventually hit the North Shore. High winds from the storms uprooted trees like this one in the Tyner area of Chattanooga. The tree crashed through the roof of this home. A family was huddled inside listening to the storm and praying for their lives. One family member explained what they heard.
It was like a real strong wind, and I was like, what is that blowing down the street? But it wasn't nothing blowing down the street. And the lights were blinking off and on, so we start lighting candles and turning off everything. And at that time, we start praying, you know, Lord, just, you know, have your way. And at that time, when we said that, the roof just caved in.
The family said the rain and the winds came up suddenly and lasted only about 20 minutes, long enough, though, to do this kind of damage.
Tonight, inmates in Middle Tennessee are sandbagging to protect homes there from rising floodwaters. Forecasters warned the biggest concern from the storms is flash flooding. The Dixon County Sheriff's Office partnered with the Office of Emergency Management. Nonviolent offenders were tapped for the job. The goal here is to protect the homes in low-lying areas, especially along the Harpeth River. There are plenty of sandbags to go around.
Right now we have about 2,000 on hand out here on the site. How many we put out so far, I'm not exactly sure, but we're just putting out enough to try to keep the homes protected, and we're fixing to go put out some more.
Forecasters have extended the flood warning in effect for the Harpeth River until noon Friday. And that this is happening, it's ironic, almost a year to the day since those massive floods struck the Nashville area.
Well, the devastating storms from here today stretched all the way from Tennessee down to Texas. The death toll has grown again in Alabama, bringing regional toll numbers to 67 dead. ABC correspondent Mike Marazars continues our team coverage with a look at the impact nationwide.
That is something that you pray that you never, ever, ever see.
This monster twister dropped over northern Alabama late this afternoon. At one point, 25 tornado warnings were issued at the same time for the same state. The unprecedented outbreak stretched from Michigan to Texas.
Oh, my God. Violent circulation.
The wheel of wicked weather has triggered torrential rains and spawned more than 300 tornadoes this month alone.
Yeah, it just went by real fast, like 30 seconds.
At least 11 deaths have been reported today, tipping the total to at least 22 for the week. One of the victims was an off-duty police officer in northern Mississippi who died while shielding his daughter from a falling tree on a camping trip. She wasn't hurt. In Tennessee, a possible twister touched down near Memphis.
Everything else came down: the living room, the dining room, the bathroom, the bedroom, the kitchen. The whole house shifted.
An uprooted tree sliced this building in half in northwest Georgia. And dozens of rivers are rising at record rates. More than 15 inches of rain in 5 days, forcing thousands of evacuations. Commuting requires a little creativity, testing even the most hardened mail carrier.
At what point will you stop the mail? And I said, that point will be when I can't drive down your road.
As much of the country braces for what Mother Nature will deliver next. Mike Maruzars, ABC News.
In West Tennessee, heavy rains also prompting the evacuation of a military base near Memphis after a stream began flooding a low-lying section of the Naval Support Base there.
One thing that's amazed me always about weather in the many years I've done it is it always seems like it's worse somewhere else just when we think we've got it bad. We've been actually very lucky so far today. Some areas have had tragic situations today in East Tennessee, but as a general rule, we've been in much better shape. Let's check things outside and see what's going on right now on Storm Tracker 6. The improvements are still coming from the west, and that continues to be a drying situation. That doesn't mean you're totally done with the rain tonight, but you're done with any severe threat. That includes Claiborne County, Union County, Anderson County, down to Roane County. Anything west of I-75 is thumbs up right here. You're in good shape, and we're watching these storms continue to slide off to the east. And we've been watching this storm that's been in Monroe County because it has a history of circulation and possibly could cause some wind damage. It's right along the foothills of the Smoky Mountains moving into Tallahassee, and probably not a very well populated area, but there's probably going to be some tree damage in the Smoky Mountains, or at least in the foothills, as this system moves off to the northeast. 42% possibility of a tornado there, moving east-northeast, and damaging winds are likely in and around this system. We'll see if there's any, not a whole lot of populated area. There could be some rain, some large hail in this, some wind damage as well, even if we don't get an official confirmation of a tornado. And we'll be seeing our storm survey crew from the Weather Service out a lot of places in East Tennessee tomorrow to determine what kind of wind damage there is. But this moves off to the northeast, 60 to 65 miles an hour. Should be into Townsend 1146 if it holds together. Wares Valley 1155, over to Hatchertown at 1157, and right about midnight to Norton Creek Ranch. That's for that spinning storm right there. Here into the Knox County area, Blount County, heavy rain. It looks like the heaviest rain is from Powell over to Carnes and down Emory Road, just to the northwest of downtown Knoxville. And then heavier rain, even parts of Jefferson County. You can see that over here on the right side of your screen, Cherokee Lake, New Market. Heavy rains moving into Morristown as well. All this movement is east pretty rapidly. So let's check and see where we are as far as our lightning. Our lightning detection network has shown us that there's been frequent lightning in these storms. Now it's down to 2,400 strikes. Just a few minutes ago, it was 3,600 strikes. So these storms, as they continue to move off to the east, we expect the lightning count to go down, which would be great news. As far as the watches and warnings go, most of the activity that's been north and west of us has been given the all clear, but we still have tornado warnings that are in effect until midnight for parts of South Knox County, Jefferson County. I think in Union County, you're okay. I think you can give the all clear. Most of Claiborne County gets the all clear as well, but if you live east of Knox County, still tornado warnings up until at least midnight, tornado watch until 1 o'clock in the morning. And the system continues to lift off to the north and east, and that's good news, because what that's going to do for us is it's going to take most of the severe threat with it, even though we've got heavy rain falling here with some localized flooding still possible, still some wind damage possible closer to the mountains. Notice the drying trend coming in behind this system, drier air working in almost even into West Knox County already, so we should see much improved conditions by midnight. So that's what's going on right now. We've got some viewer pictures to share with you. Meteorologist Megan Campbell's been with us all afternoon, and a little bit of the forecast that improves as well. Megan?
I mean, that is true, but we want to go ahead and show you some of those pictures, tremendous pictures that we've had throughout the day. Thank you very much for sending those in. We want to share with those now, and here's a look at a wall cloud dropping down. You can see almost reaching the surface. Kevin's sending this in. This is right around Foothills Mall. So first we see this, and then we start to see that spin out. And you can see many of those funnel clouds just reaching towards the Earth's surface, and this is actually into Athens this afternoon, where we did have reports of a tornado and many spotters confirming that, but you can see it is very evident by this picture by Amy, and here comes the damage. You can see that this car, not so lucky, Amber's car out there, and this is actually into Knox County. We've had many back windows, front windows knocked out of cars across all of Knox County, really got hit by the hail, and here you can see it widespread. This almost looks like a snow-covered backyard, but nope, that's hail, and that's how thick it was actually into Farragut. So let's go ahead and bring it back to Matt now, giving us the latest look at radar.
Now, live from East Tennessee's first television station, this is 6 News at 11.
Tonight, word that the only mental health hospital in our area could be shut down for good, eliminating hundreds of jobs. Plus,
she said she would cut me with it.
And then there was another boy.
He said that he was going to stab me with it.
Tonight, a fourth grader says she was threatened with a knife at school by her classmates. Why her mother says school policy needs to change now.
plus hear from the mother of the first victim to come forward in the Penn State sex abuse case. Also, local alumni weigh in on Joe Paterno's firing and the campus riot.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Gene Patterson.
I'm Lori Tucker. It's a story 6 News has been working on for a week. Sources telling us a week ago about the proposed closure of Lakeshore Mental Health Institute in West Knoxville. It's the only state hospital for the mentally ill here. We are told 350 people stand to lose their jobs. 6 News was there today as Lakeshore Board of Trustee members filed into the administration building at the hospital for what we were told was an emergency meeting late this afternoon with Tennessee's Commissioner of Mental Health, Doug Varney. In an email forwarded to us tonight from one of our sources, Commissioner Varney explains to managers that he'll be recommending Lakeshore close by June 2012 in a budget hearing with Governor Haslam on Tuesday morning in Nashville. It would, of course, have to be approved by the General Assembly. In keeping with current trends in mental health care, the emphasis is on moving from state hospital care to community-based programs. In the first of 2 emails I've received tonight, again from our source, Commissioner Varney explains, quote, I feel strongly that persons with mental illness and alcohol substance abuse issues should be treated in the communities where they live. And he says his budget proposal is based on the belief that, quote, our system of providing care to the citizens of this state must undergo a major transformation. The second email is to employees from Lakeshore's Chief Officer Lee Thomas, who says in the days ahead, we trust more details will emerge as to how Lakeshore's closure will be implemented. Now, Lakeshore Park is also a popular jogging trail and youth sports area. Those are completely separate from the Institute and not expected to change. 6 News will stay on top of this story, and we'll keep you informed as we learn more.
Well, tonight, a student at Tellico Plains Elementary School in Monroe County says 2 students threatened her with knives. The incident happened yesterday morning, according to the girl's mother. While the school says they've taken action, the girl's mother is upset that knives do not fall under the school's zero-tolerance policy. New at 11, 6 News reporter Mona Nair spoke to the 4th grader and her mother this evening.
It's about that big. 4th grader Savannah Andrus says it was during breakfast at the cafeteria Wednesday morning when 2 kids her age threatened her with knives.
She said she would cut me with it.
And then there was another boy.
Jerry.
And what did he say?
He said that he was going to stab me with it.
She described the weapons as being long pocket knives.
About that big.
Savannah says it was something a couple of the kids had planned.
So a couple of them had brought knives that day?
Yeah.
As part of a plan to do it all on the same day?
And they're going to play with it outside at recess.
The incident was reported to school staff. The girl's mother, Amanda, pretty furious because she says the children who brought in the knives were back in school today.
He can't tell me what kind of punishment the kids had.
The school only released a statement saying the incident has been fully investigated and those involved have been addressed appropriately. Any disciplinary information is confidential.
Now, Amanda's beef with the school board over this whole issue is their zero-tolerance policy, because she says it doesn't describe a knife specifically as a weapon or a dangerous instrument.
The school board this morning told me no, it's not. A BB gun and a knife is not considered zero tolerance.
We looked at the policy. It pointedly talks about firearms, drugs, and physical battery, and describes dangerous weapons as anything manifestly designed, made, or adapted for the purpose of inflicting death or serious bodily injury.
We could be the next one with a big old scenario happening in our school with more than just one child affected.
In Tellico Plains, Mona Nair, 6 News.
Now, the family expects to meet with school administrators tomorrow.
Well, right now, temperatures are dropping across East Tennessee. Matt, we're all wondering just how low they're going to go tonight.
Most areas will be below freezing, and we're already dropping to 41 in Knoxville. It's 34 in Crossville already, so it won't be long before many of you will be at freezing or below early in the morning. The wind's coming in out of the north, and that's keeping temperatures up a little bit, but once they die down a little bit, then we'll see even colder air in the forecast. We had a few clouds earlier, and still just a few sliding through southeast Kentucky. and still a possibility for a few to slide there tonight, but overall it'll be clear, and that band of clouds is about ready to move through southeast Kentucky. Could produce a few flurries over the higher elevations. Bus stop in the morning, bundle up the kids. Plateau mid to upper 20s. We'll be in the upper 20s to low 30s here in the Knoxville area. Much colder than we've been used to, but a warming trend's on the way for your weekend. I'll have more on that in a few minutes.
All right, Matt, well, new at 11, the Cobb County School Board voted to add new allegations against a suspended Cosby High School football coach already accused of inappropriate behavior. The school board has already recommended that Tyler Shelton be dismissed for a history of inappropriate behavior toward female students and at least one parent. 6 News reported Friday there were new allegations involving other students. Tonight, the school board voted to add those incidents to its dismissal recommendation. It's now left up to a hearing officer to determine if Shelton will be fired. That hearing is scheduled for December 8th.
Well, tonight, word that Joe Paterno has contacted a criminal defense attorney in the child sex abuse case as the mother of one of the victims has come forward. Yesterday, Paterno was fired after allegations against former defensive coach Jerry Sandusky came to light. Sandusky's charged with molesting 8 boys over the last 15 years. Last night, Penn State students rioted after learning about Paterno. And new at 11, 6 News reporter Samantha Saraceno talks with a local Penn State alum and has his reaction to last night's events and is saying goodbye to Coach Paterno.
Effective immediately, Dr. Spanier is no longer president of the university. In addition, Joe Paterno is no longer the head football coach, effective immediately.
This announcement caused chaos at College Station Wednesday night. Hundreds of students flooded the streets, causing riots and uproar on campus, and even in front of Joe Pa's home.
When I saw that, I was disappointed, of course. I don't want to see any kind of destruction go on at Penn State or anything like that. But a part of me felt it was a little bit understandable because there's so much, invested in Joe Pa, in every Penn Stater, that once this happened and so abruptly that there's obviously going to be some anger that boils over.
Sam Peterson, now a UT grad student, attended Penn State from 2003 to 2007. So the news of Coach Paterno being fired was painful. And he says he can't blame the students for what they did.
If any school had an icon like Joe Pa go out like that, there would always be an outpouring of support from people either flooding the streets or whatever.
Peterson says he wasn't expecting Joe to go so fast.
It's just not the right ending for him because he had such a long tenure at Penn State. Nobody will ever forget the fact that he led a football program that was one to be looked up to for 40 years. And so the fact that this occurred doesn't diminish that. It just changes the way he left the university.
But he says he understands why the Board of Trustees made the decision that they did.
They couldn't just let him stay there and justify any kind of oversight he might have had, and they couldn't justify having all the attention brought on him instead of the university. So I think they did what they had to do.
To Peterson, Joe Pa will always be a legend, and he hopes people will not vilify him for what happened.
What I hope for Joe Pa is that he finds a way to still contribute to the university as he wants to. He has dedicated his entire life to the university, so I hope he can still do that to some degree.
As for the university, Peterson hopes that everyone can stay strong and just overcome this obstacle. In Knoxville, Samantha Saraceno, 6 News.
Tomorrow, Good Morning America anchor George Stephanopoulos will have an exclusive interview with the mother of the first victim to come forward in the Sandusky child sex abuse case. Tonight, a preview of that interview.
I had said, if, maybe we should have, come to this conclusion earlier. You should have told me. And he was like, well, he said, I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do, and you just can't tell Jerry no.
He felt stuck. He was just a little kid.
Yeah.
Again, you can see the entire interview, the exclusive interview, tomorrow morning on Good Morning America beginning at 7. That's right after Good Morning Tennessee.
Well, tomorrow, the Academy Sports Store in West Knoxville will be open to the public. It's located in the Sherrill Hill development near Kingston Pike and Cedar Bluff. Today, members of the Boys and Girls Club got a sneak peek of the new store and all the new merchandise. They also became the first Academy customers. Academy Sports gave each child a $100 gift card and a personal shopping assistant. Academy employees say they're looking forward to the grand opening.
For this opening? Well, we're hoping everybody from the community comes out. We're really excited to open our first store here in Knoxville. We're bringing about 150 jobs to the area, and we hope tonight's excitement with the kids coming in from the local Boys and Girls Club will raise some awareness and get some people to come out and enjoy and shop our store.
The Texas-based company operates more than 135 stores in the Southeast and Midwest.
Well, new 11 Sequoia Elementary School students holding a musical tribute to veterans this evening.
This is our country, the red, white, the blue.
The patriotic music celebration was called This Is Our Country. The director of music education, Doris Moreland, presented the concert along with the 5th graders. And the program included special recognition for the men and women who are serving or who have served in the armed forces. Well, tomorrow marks 1 year since 13 homeless left a life on the street and moved into the former 5th Avenue Motel.
$7 million later, we go inside and ask, was it worth it?
I am pleased to tell you that 2 individuals of the original group that moved in have sort of graduated.
6 News anchor Kristen Farley sits down with those behind the project and talks with one woman who says Minvilla changed her life.
Plus a sneak peek at the progress being made to rebuild Opry Mills after floodwaters ravaged that big Nashville shopping center.
It's turning colder outside. You look at that, that's not minus 13 degrees. That just tells us it's 13 degrees colder than it was this time yesterday. That cold air in place for a couple nights, then a gradual warming trend. Your 11-11-11 forecast is coming up next.
You're watching WATE 6 News at 11.
Well, this time last year, 13 homeless people were getting ready to move into one of the most controversial and expensive projects of our city's homelessness plan.
You know, many believe the project would never be a success, saying it was too expensive, and there was even talk among some that the majority of the units were still sitting vacant. Well, 6 News anchor Kristen Farley goes to Minvilla Manor for some answers in this special report.
It was dilapidated, fire damaged, and an eyesore. For many, it was difficult to see the beauty or the purpose in the condemned 5th Avenue Motel. But then, in 2006, Volunteer Ministry Center purchased this property. And this is what it looks like today.
It's been quite a journey. It started when we moved the first 13 people in and learned together how to really form a community, a tight community here.
Right now, 49 of the 57 units are occupied, with the remaining 8 spoken for. In fact, Volunteer Ministry Center's Ginny Witherstone, who helps operate the facility, says there's a waiting list to get in here now. She also told us 2 of the original 13 people have moved on to their own independent homes.
It's not always easy to get out of homelessness. To think that 57 people have done it. We help, but it's their decision.
49-year-old Doris Ingram is one of those making the decision to leave the streets. With the help of caseworkers, she moved into Minvilla this summer.
This is my bedroom.
Now, with a sense of pride, this formerly homeless mother of 2 is on the road to recovery, not just from homelessness, but she recently had surgery for lung cancer.
I about got it licked. I about battled cancer.
For Ingram, Minvilla means security, a place to rest her head, and a place to keep items from family members showing their support. She also treasures mementos like this pillow from her mother, who just recently passed away.
If I didn't have a place, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Ingram works regularly with on-site caseworkers. She also says she can enjoy the community room, complete with computers, with her new family here at Minvilla. She says all of this combined has changed her life.
It's made my recovery a success.
But despite the individual successes like Ingram's here, there have long been those critics of this project, many simply because they don't believe in supportive housing. Others say renovating the Fifth Avenue Motel was just too expensive. But now, 1 year later, a national organization is actually recognizing the restoration efforts here.
These awards have been for the historic rehabilitation of the former Fifth Avenue Motel.
Sitting among countless awards, Weatherstone answers, could this project have been accomplished elsewhere, cheaper than that $7 million plus price tag?
You probably could have, but you couldn't have rehabilitated the old building for cheaper. So again, I go back to the fact that we really accomplished two things here, and I'm proud of both of them.
By the way, in case you were wondering, the case managers on site at Manvilla are paid through Volunteer Ministry Center. All other operational costs are covered by a small subsidy from HUD and rent. Right now, we should point out all tenants are paying with federal housing assistance. In the studio, Kristen Farley, 6 News.
New at 11, a sneak peek at the progress now being made to rebuild Opry Mills. Floodwaters ravaged the shopping center back in May of 2010, forcing it to close. Workers are now putting final touches on the Regal Cinemas and IMAX, which open next week. Crews are unloading more than a dozen semis full of new games, furniture, and supplies at Dave & Buster's, and hundreds of employees have already been hired, but thousands will be needed to open and operate the shopping center.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas and feel like it as well finally tonight with the cold air in place. The picture you're looking at right here is live in front of the Smoky Mountain Opry right there in Pigeon Forge with Christmas Fest celebration there, and everybody's got their lights coming in and around the holidays, ready to go on a cold night. Probably going to be the coldest night of the season so far. Cold and frosty in the morning. 31 is the coldest we've been so far. Right now forecasting a low of 29. Sun on tap for Veterans Day, and a warming trend starts after tomorrow. You'll really notice a warming trend coming our direction. Right now it's down to 30 already in Crossville. How about 41 in Coreyton, 40 in Norris, 36 Rockwood, 37 in Middlesboro. So these temperatures dropping pretty fast, and it's a bright full moon out there as well. This picture sent in by one of our weather watchers via Facebook. That was from Jeff Weaver, taken from Maribel. Clear skies overhead right now with the 41, and we'll head down to about 30 early in the morning. Official low forecasting 29, but at 7 o'clock about 30. By the time we get into the afternoon, it's 47 at noon and headed for a high that'll be between 50 and 55. Don't think the winds will be as strong as they were today, so clear skies, pretty comfortable day, but still below average. A few thin clouds trying to come through London, Kentucky there, sliding into southeast Kentucky, southwest Virginia. That thin band of clouds will clip state to the north of us, so most of you remain dry tonight. And probably going to be looking at temperatures in the mid-30s around midnight. 29 there early in the morning, and then we should warm it back into the low to mid-50s as we head into the afternoon. And after we get through tomorrow, then we're returning to some 60s with some southwest breezes developing. Here's the numbers for the next 6 days. Now, a couple things for tomorrow. First of all, we start at 29 and go up to 53 for Veterans Day. The parade tomorrow morning downtown, you need to bundle up, and we'll see sunshine, but temperatures only in the upper 30s and low 40s. Then we're back below freezing as we go into Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon near 60, 66 on Sunday. Another chance for showers and maybe a rumble of thunder come our way later Monday into Tuesday. So we go from well above average earlier this week when we were in the 70s to well below average. And then we've got Friday night as well with the high school guys playing ball. And the high school playoffs continue. You'll need to bundle up for that, as well as temperatures for most of those games will drop into the 40s as well. So we cool it down, warm it up, back near 70s. Small chance for showers Monday. That increases Monday night into Tuesday as well. And happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there. Hope you have a great day tomorrow.
All right, Matt. Well, the Tennessee basketball team opening its regular season tomorrow night.
Jim has more on that now in sports. Hi, Jim.
Laurie and Jean, the Vols head to Hawaii for the Maui Classic later this month, but tomorrow night they open the season against North Carolina Greensboro. More on that coming up. Plus, NASCAR driver Kyle Busch has sponsor issues. More on how bad behavior is affecting business. It's next.
Trying to get by, looked like the 17 attempt.
Season debuts are a funny thing in college basketball. Coaches get a couple of them. Last week, Conzo Martin made his preseason debut as the Vols head coach. Tomorrow night, the Vols open the real season. So far, so good. 2 preseason games and 2 wins. There's no question his team is showing signs of the defensive mindset Martin wants from his team. After that, though, it's anyone's guess. Martin hopes the answers start to fall in place tomorrow night against North Carolina Greensboro.
It's one of those deals right now, guys is really kind of finding their way, filling things out. Who's the leading scorer? Who's the go-to guy? Who's going to give us production on the block? So I think there are so many unknowns from the standpoint. That's why we want to be consistent on the defensive side of the ball. So there's a mainstay for us. Now we kind of find our way offensively.
Vols have won 19 straight season openers at home. After tomorrow, Tennessee gets one more home game. And then after that, they head to Hawaii for the Maui Invitational. They'll open there against 6th-ranked Duke. Tennessee's defense this weekend against Arkansas is the big challenge they could face, or they could see it as an opportunity, perhaps, waiting to happen. The Vols already played Bama and LSU, but Arkansas is a tougher game. Trust me on this. The Razorbacks have the SEC's top-ranked offense, and most of that is done through the air. Arkansas survived a scare against Vanderbilt a couple of weeks ago. After a close first half against South Carolina, Derek Dooley knows this game is never safe against this team.
So it's not just they run fast without the ball, and they have a little real confident swagger to them. And every time a team inches close to them, they answer the bell. Pow, 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 touchdown. I've seen it in so many games.
And don't discount Arkansas's ability to look average and then awaken. They were down 17-0 to Ole Miss, won the game 29-24. Also down to Vanderbilt, came back and win. And after the Vols, the Razorbacks host Mississippi State and then close the season with a showdown against LSU. NASCAR bad boy Kyle Busch losing his sponsor for the final 2 races of the season. Busch had a serious case of road rage in last week's truck race, running title contender Ron Hornaday into the wall. Busch was suspended for last week's Sprint Cup Series race, then fined $50,000 and placed on probation. Tonight, NASCAR is saying through a source that discussions about Busch's future are taking place. His main sponsor, M&M's, will not be on the car this weekend at Phoenix or next weekend at Homestead, Florida. Coming up next, the Ice Bears. Welcome back. Hockey tonight at the Coliseum. Tennessee's Smokies second baseman Nate Sampson drops the honorary first puck. Ice Bears take it out of Huntsville. First period, Ice Bears shorthanded. Emery-O Lawson picks up the goal right there. Ice Bears go on to a 4-2 win tonight. Get your dancing shoes on. We'll be right back.
That's our time.
Good Morning Tennessee starts at 4:30.
Thanks for watching 6 News. Stay connected with WATE on Twitter and Facebook. Know what's happening when it happens. Expect more from 6 News.